Good morning. On behalf of the Installation Commander, Brigadier General Kenyon Bell, we would like to welcome you to today's Community College of the Air Force Spring 2020 graduation ceremony. Please join me for the playing of the National Anthem. I am Master Sergeant Eric Partlow, your MC for today's ceremony, and it is my privilege to introduce our distinguished guests. Commander, 82nd Training Wing, Brigadier General Kenyon Bell. Commander, 80th Flying Training Wing, Colonel Robert Haas. Command Chief, 82nd Training Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Dina Mosley. Command Chief, 80th Flying Training Wing, and today's keynote speaker, Chief Master Sergeant Matthew Mueller. Commandant, Sheppard Non-Commissioned Officer Academy, Chief Master Sergeant Malik Barnes. We would also like to extend a warm welcome to all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, supervisors, co-workers, and especially all the family members and friends of our graduates. The significance of this event helps make this milestone a memorable occasion for each one of these Air Force leaders. We would also like to recognize our scholarship sponsors for supporting our graduates. Representing Chapter 284 of the Air Force Association, Mr. Mark Giglio. Representing Geico Military Affairs Department, Chief Master Sergeant Joe Barron, United States Air Force retired. Representing Sheppard Air Force Base 5-6 Council, Technical Sergeant Landon Basham. Representing 1st Command Financial Services, Mr. Daniel Scancerelli. Representing United Servicemen's Automobile Association, Command Sergeant Major Carl Morgan, United States Army, retired. The Community College of the Air Force is the only federally chartered degree-granting institution that serves the United States Air Force enlisted members. The college serves enlisted personnel by combining on- and off-duty education into associate degree programs designed around Air Force occupational specialties. The college was established in 1972 and is accredited by the Commission on Colleges of Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, and is the world's largest community college system. Oftentimes, the Community College of the Air Force lays the foundation upon which future achievements in education are built. Our keynote speaker today is Chief Master Sergeant Matthew Mueller. He is the Chief Enlisted Advisor to the Commander, 80th Flying Training Wing for all concerning morale, welfare, utilization, training, and professional development of assigned personnel. The wing is responsible for conducting the Euro-NATO Joint Jet Pilot Training Mission. This program is the world's only internationally manned and managed undergraduate pilot training program and includes participants from 14 NATO nations. We are truly honored to have Chief Mueller as our guest speaker today. Take it away, Chief.
Good day, Team Sheppard. This is absolutely a wonderful day where we're handing out CCAF degrees to some very deserving airmen. In fact, we have 218 diplomas going to 195 airmen, spanning 30 different degrees. That's absolutely wonderful, and it deserves a big congratulations. Congrats. Also, we'd normally be doing this in the base auditorium with lots of folks here to include your family, your coworkers, supervisors, commanders, all those individuals, and we'd all be in one big auditorium enjoying this moment. Instead, we're doing this in a video format this year, virtually. Don't let this go unnoticed, though. This is a big accomplishment, so please don't underestimate your accomplishment of getting the CCAF degree. Also, I want to point out one group in particular that's very important to this degree, and that's your family. There's lots of family that are out there that suffered and had to take time away. You had to take time away from your family to ensure that you completed this degree, completed your courses to get this degree complete. So I just want to say congratulations and thank you for your family and for allowing them to complete this degree, as it's very important to the Air Force and to the nation. So thank you very much, families, and it's a heartfelt congrats to you as well. This is your degree just as much as it's theirs. At the same time, I also want to say thanks to the supervisors out there. Supervisors and mentors, they really had a big push on getting you down that road. I know for me personally, it was the same. I had a mentor and a supervisor that actually told me as a young NCO, it said, hey, you need to finish this up. So that's exactly what I did, and just needed that push in the back. So thank you to those supervisors and mentors out there for pushing you along as well. At the same time, I also want to say this hard work, there's a lot of hard work going into this degree, and this actually gives you some street cred now. You have street cred that says, hey, I want to be better at my craft. It doesn't matter whether you're working on the gate, maintaining airplanes, or even working in the med group. You want to be better at your craft, so please make that be known within your work centers that you are now can be a SME within your career field. So please pass that information on. We expect you to as the Air Force. Also, we want you to pass that on, and also that knowledge on to others, as well as be an inspiration to others. So you took your time and actually got some education, and we also want you to inspire others to get their education. So take that time. You're probably a supervisor or going to be a supervisor soon, so please look at those around you and say, hey, have you finished your CCAF degree? Have you finished your other degrees? Go out and continue your education as well. There's certifications within many of the different career fields, as well as other degrees that you can accomplish. So please be an inspiration to others. Go out and continue your education, inspire others, and bring those others along with you during during your educational path. Once again, I want to say congratulations to all those graduates and to your families. Thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you, Chief, for those inspiring words. At this time, we would like to begin the recognition of our graduates. This ceremony certifies that the members of the Sheppard Spring 2020 Community College of the Air Force class have met the requirements for the award of the Associate of Applied Science degree in accordance with the Air University's accrediting body. The following personnel are being awarded the degree of Aerospace Ground and Equipment Technology. Technical Sergeant Corey Carpenter. Staff Sergeant Stephen Myers. Our next degree is being awarded for Aerospace Physiology Technology to Staff Sergeant Jordan Turnbull. The following personnel are being awarded the degree of Air Traffic Operations and Management. Staff Sergeant Stuart Conkright. Master Sergeant Rafus Parker. Senior Airman Tarika Sandoval. Our next degree is being awarded for Aircraft Armament Systems Technology to Staff Sergeant Ethan Buchanan. Staff Sergeant Sean Davis. The following personnel are being awarded the degree of Aircrew Safety Systems Technology. Staff Sergeant Levi Schaefer. Staff Sergeant Benjamin Shirley. Staff Sergeant Jessica Solano. The following personnel are being awarded the degree of Aviation Maintenance Technology. Technical Sergeant Neil Ayers. Technical Sergeant Raul Baca. Technical Sergeant Emiliano Canales. Staff Sergeant Michael Charlton. Technical Sergeant Mark Davis. Staff Sergeant Michael Helms. Staff Sergeant Alex Higgins. Staff Sergeant Diana Jimenez. Technical Sergeant Matthew Martin. Staff Sergeant Cody Melton. Staff Sergeant Travis Myers. Technical Sergeant Jose Montes. Staff Sergeant Candace Rollerson. Staff Sergeant Joshua Russell. Staff Sergeant Christopher Souter. Technical Sergeant Aaron Simmons. Staff Sergeant Joshua Sims. Our next degree is being awarded for Aviation Management to Technical Sergeant Alicia Singletary. The following personnel are being awarded the degree of Avionics Systems Technology. Staff Sergeant Eric Bales. Staff Sergeant Emilio Blanco. Technical Sergeant Jesse Conley. Technical Sergeant Corey Edwards. Staff Sergeant Isaiah Frolick. Staff Sergeant Mara Getz. Staff Sergeant Chad Gibbs. Staff Sergeant Daniel Hernandez. Technical Sergeant William Ingram. Technical Sergeant Jeremy Johnson. Staff Sergeant Bradley McIntyre. Technical Sergeant Joshua Osborne. Master Sergeant Matthew Pitts. Staff Sergeant Christopher Spear. Staff Sergeant Sean Sturms. Technical Sergeant Bradley Vidari. Technical Sergeant William Walker. Staff Sergeant Matthew Walters. Our next degree is being awarded for Contract Management to Technical Sergeant Gregory Winfrey. Our next degree is being awarded for Criminal Justice to Staff Sergeant Hagan Brooks. Staff Sergeant Janine Casey. The following personnel are being awarded the degree of Education and Training Management. Chief Master Sergeant Jonathan Alejandro. Staff Sergeant Adam Aruda. Technical Sergeant Luke Bullard. Senior Master Sergeant Eric Dashinger. Technical Sergeant Kyle Gunta. Technical Sergeant Jungmin Han. Staff Sergeant Brendan Heipel. Staff Sergeant Kyle Willett. The following personnel are being awarded the degree of Electronic Systems Technology. Senior Airman Stephen Bischoff. Staff Sergeant Marvin Del Sol. Staff Sergeant Julian Fontanet. Staff Sergeant Ernest Williams. Our next degree is being awarded for Explosive Ordnance Disposal. Staff Sergeant Seth Huff. Staff Sergeant Michael Muck. The next degree is awarded for Financial Management to Staff Sergeant J-Bomb Wong. The next degree is being awarded for Fire Science to Staff Sergeant Clinton Gatewood. Our next degree is being awarded for Healthcare Management to Technical Sergeant Jonathan Rubio Abreu. Staff Sergeant Ashley Sluter. The following personnel are being awarded the degree of Human Resource Management. Technical Sergeant Julie Bowles. Technical Sergeant Jenna Brunn. Technical Sergeant Sarah Dacus. Technical Sergeant Corey Edwards. Technical Sergeant Christopher Hanna. Master Sergeant William Littledale. Master Sergeant Morgan Roscoe. Staff Sergeant Krista Reedus. Technical Sergeant Matthew Rodriguez. Technical Sergeant Noah Rodriguez. Master Sergeant Desmond Spicer. Staff Sergeant Alethea Watson. Technical Sergeant Yanira Williams. Our next degree is being awarded for Human Services to Technical Sergeant Roderick Chandler. Master Sergeant Aaron Stamper. The next degree is being awarded for Information Systems Technology to Technical Sergeant Cameron McGrath. The following personnel are being awarded the degree of Instructor of Technology and Military Science. Staff Sergeant Zane Abrio. Technical Sergeant Stephen Ainsworth. Technical Sergeant Neil Ayers. Staff Sergeant Terrence Bailey. Staff Sergeant Kevin Baker. Staff Sergeant Eric Bales. Staff Sergeant Sid Rennie Bartolome. Technical Sergeant Landon Basham. Technical Sergeant George Bates. Technical Sergeant Anthony Battaglino. Technical Sergeant Patrick Bentley. Technical Sergeant Ryan Bursch. Staff Sergeant Quentin Bliss. Staff Sergeant Christopher Bolin. Staff Sergeant Gary Brame. Technical Sergeant James Brandt. Technical Sergeant Willie Brown. Technical Sergeant Jason Burns. Technical Sergeant Emiliano Canales. Technical Sergeant Chandrolika Carlos. Staff Sergeant Sean Carnahan. Technical Sergeant Corey Carpenter. Staff Sergeant Dustin Carter. Technical Sergeant Kyle Castanguay. Technical Sergeant Corey Chalkley. Technical Sergeant Kyle Chandler. Staff Sergeant Michael Charlton. Staff Sergeant Rodolfo Coronado. Staff Sergeant Travis Cormier. Staff Sergeant Aaron D'Angelo Keller. Staff Sergeant Brandon Daniel. Technical Sergeant Mark Davis. Staff Sergeant Michael Dawson. Master Sergeant Graham De La Garza. Technical Sergeant Martin Dickin. Staff Sergeant David Dallas. Staff Sergeant Austin Duran. Staff Sergeant Matthew Ebarb. Staff Sergeant Antonio Faldoa. Technical Sergeant Brandon Fowle. Staff Sergeant Jefferson Finnan. Staff Sergeant Philip Gutierrez. Staff Sergeant Chad Gibbs. Staff Sergeant Tobias Gilbert. Master Sergeant Michael Graven. Technical Sergeant Charlie Hagerup. Technical Sergeant David Himanowski. Staff Sergeant Devin Henning. Staff Sergeant Daniel Hernandez. Staff Sergeant Daniel Hernandez Marquez. Technical Sergeant Kenneth Hinton. Technical Sergeant Jordan Hocker. Technical Sergeant David Holland. Staff Sergeant Kevin Robick. Technical Sergeant Elizabeth Hubbard. Staff Sergeant Seth Huff. Technical Sergeant William Ingram. Staff Sergeant Diana Jimenez. Technical Sergeant Daryl Joaquin. Technical Sergeant Jeremy Johnson. Staff Sergeant Randall Johnson. Staff Sergeant Thaddeus Jones. Technical Sergeant Joseph Keeley. Staff Sergeant Taylor Kirkpatrick. Technical Sergeant Dwayne Koch. Technical Sergeant Joshua Lale. Technical Sergeant Anthony Landon. Staff Sergeant Lori Leverett. Staff Sergeant Brandon Ligon. Technical Sergeant Gerardo Lopez Ruvalcaba. Technical Sergeant Kevin Ludwig. Technical Sergeant Alan Madplum. Master Sergeant Michael McCorkle. Staff Sergeant David McFarland. Staff Sergeant Bradley McIntyre. Staff Sergeant Stephen Myers. Technical Sergeant Alexander Mims. Staff Sergeant Anthony Moore. Staff Sergeant Michael Muck. Staff Sergeant Katarina Norton. Technical Sergeant Leonardo Ogwin. Technical Sergeant Joshua Oliver. Staff Sergeant Juanjul Ortiz Santos. Technical Sergeant Gerardo Padilla. Master Sergeant Eric Partlow. Master Sergeant Kelly Peterson. Staff Sergeant Trenton Pierce. Staff Sergeant Kenneth Rambo. Technical Sergeant Carlos Ramos Lozado. Staff Sergeant Andrew Roberts. Staff Sergeant Norman Rollick. Staff Sergeant Joshua Russell. Staff Sergeant Gage Rutledge. Staff Sergeant Zachary Saita. Staff Sergeant Christina Sanchez. Technical Sergeant Jose Santiago Barrios. Staff Sergeant Jordan Sayer. Master Sergeant Christopher Scott. Staff Sergeant David Seaman. Technical Sergeant Ryan Sheldon. Technical Sergeant Rebecca Shelton. Technical Sergeant Tyler Sims. Staff Sergeant Robert Smith. Staff Sergeant Christopher Spear. Staff Sergeant Benjamin Sprouse. Staff Sergeant Cody Stensby. Technical Sergeant Jan Stevens. Technical Sergeant Thomas Teagarden. Senior Airman Tyler Trout. Master Sergeant Thomas Valenzuela. Technical Sergeant William Walker. Staff Sergeant Matthew Walters. Staff Sergeant James Weissop. Master Sergeant Sean Wilson. Staff Sergeant Andrew Zuttel. The following personnel are receiving a degree in logistics. Staff Sergeant Christopher Hattendorf. Staff Sergeant Jonathan Park. The next degree is being awarded for mechanical and electrical technology. Technical Sergeant Nicholas Bailey. Technical Sergeant James Brandt. Technical Sergeant Kyle Castanguay. Staff Sergeant Brandon Ligon. Staff Sergeant Derek Monson. The next degree is being awarded for mental health services to Staff Sergeant Haley Sampson. The next degree is being awarded for meteorology to Staff Sergeant Nathaniel Barclay. The next degree is being awarded for munition systems technology to Staff Sergeant Quentin Bliss. Staff Sergeant Christopher Bowling. The next degree is being awarded for nondestructive testing technology to Staff Sergeant Nicholas Singleton. The next degree is being awarded for nuclear weapons systems technology to Staff Sergeant Joshua Brown. The next degree is being awarded for occupational safety to Technical Sergeant James Grimes. The next degree is being awarded for pharmacy technology to Staff Sergeant Teresa Ibarra. The next degree is being awarded for transportation to Technical Sergeant Matthew Rodriguez. At this time, we would like to recognize a few members of Team Sheppard with individual awards and scholarships that have been donated by several generous organizations. Texas AFA Chapter 284 and Mr. Mark Giglio supports our CCAF graduates by providing a scholarship of $400 to 2 select United States Air Force enlisted personnel graduating from the Community College of the Air Force and are actively pursuing an advanced degree. The first recipient of the $400 Texas AFA Chapter 284 scholarship is Master Sergeant Kelly Peterson. The second recipient of the $400 Texas AFA Chapter 284 scholarship is Staff Sergeant Michael Dawson. Geico Insurance and Mr. Joe Barron also support our CCAF graduates by providing a scholarship of $250 to 2 selected United States Air Force enlisted personnel graduating from the Community College of the Air Force and who plan to pursue an advanced degree. The first recipient of the $250 Geico Insurance Scholarship is Master Sergeant Kelly Peterson. The second recipient for the $250 Geico Insurance Scholarship is Staff Sergeant Devin Henning. The Sheppard 5-6 Council and Technical Sergeant Landon Basham supports our CCAF graduates by providing a scholarship of $200 to 1 selected United States Air Force enlisted person graduating from the Community College of the Air Force who plans to utilize their knowledge towards future leadership opportunities. The recipient of the 5-6 Council Scholarship is Technical Sergeant Jungmin Han. First Command Financial and Mr. Daniel Scansarelli supports our CCAF graduates by providing a scholarship of $200 to 1 selected United States Air Force enlisted person graduating from the Community College of the Air Force who plans to continue their studies. The recipient of the First Command Financial Support Scholarship is Staff Sergeant Jordan Turnbull. The United Servicemen's Automobile Association and Mr. Carl Morgan provide a one-time scholarship of $100 to one top selected United States Air Force enlisted personnel graduating from the Community College of the Air Force who plans to pursue an advanced degree. The recipient of the USAA scholarship is Technical Sergeant Jungmin Han. General Bell and Chief Mosley will now provide some closing remarks.
I would just like to say congratulations to all of the Spring 2020 graduates. This is a huge accomplishment. I remember also being right here at Sheppard Air Force Base years ago and receiving my CCAF. So again, this is a super big deal for all of you. I encourage all of you to continue with your higher education and make sure that you thank your family and thank your friends. Again, congratulations to you all.
Graduates, I too want to add my congratulations for this significant milestone in your career. Whether or not this is your very first degree and you're the first in your family, or if this is your second or third degree, what I want to encourage you is to remember, don't make this your last. Learning and education is an imperative for us to maintain our edge as we're moving forward. As you heard in General Brown's latest article, accelerate change or lose. The only way that we're going to continue to accelerate change is if we continue to feed our brains. So I encourage you to take this education, use it as a foundation to catapult you on to the next level. And then also turn around and bring somebody with you. You have certainly been encouraged by some folks. Maybe it's your family member, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a mentor from a base previous or a base right here where you're stationed right now. But make sure that you turn around and encourage someone else to go after that degree. Start exactly where they are and then continue to move forward. I remember very distinctly when my father encouraged me to go and continue my education afterwards. And I was thinking, there's no way in the world I am interested in trying to continue my education. I'm so thankful for him, and I have continued to tell him that. And so my final words to you, make sure that you find somebody to write them a note and say, thank you for your wonderful encouragement in helping me through and getting to this significant milestone. Congratulations to you. We'll see you out in the Air Force.
Thank you, General Bell and Chief Mosley, for those inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you for joining us for today's ceremony. Congratulations to all of our graduates. Completion of your first, second, or third Community College of the Air Force degree is a significant accomplishment in your Air Force career and should be recognized. This concludes our Spring 2020 Community College of the Air Force graduation ceremony. Thank you for attending and have a great Air Force Day.